theme is transportation and our sub-theme is safety or identifying road safety signs. So boys and girls, today we're going to be talking about being safe on the road. And it's very important that we do this. All right, so today in our lesson, we have a song that we want to share. Because in our lesson today, we're going to be naming some of the road safety signs. And we're going to talk about how we use these signs safely. And I'm going to be singing about one of these road safety signs. And after we're singing, you'll be able to identify the name of the road safety sign that was used in this song. So here goes. Where is red light? Where is red light? Here I am. Here I am. I say stop. I say stop. Here I am. Here I am. Where is yellow light? Where is yellow light? Here I am. Here I am. Tell us what you say, sir. Tell us what you say, sir. I say wait. I say wait. Where is green light? Where is green light? Here I am. Here I am. Tell us what you say, sir. Tell us what you say, sir. I say go. I say go. Red says stop. Yellow says wait. Green says go. Green says go. These are traffic signals. These are traffic signals that we know. That we know. Great. So I just sung that song, boys and girls. Now, having listened to that song, what is the name of the traffic signal or the safety sign that we sung about in that song? Let me give you 2 seconds to respond. Great, I'm sure somebody's saying that we just sang about the traffic light. What we just sang about? The traffic light. And guess what, boys and girls? Sometimes people call this the stoplight. But today you're going to be able to tell mommy and daddy or whoever says that that's not the correct name. The correct name is the traffic light. Because in the song we just did, we learned that this traffic light does not only say stop. Great. There are 2 other things that it also indicates or tells us to do. And so let's talk about that now. So in the song we just did, boys and girls, we heard about the traffic light. And in that song we heard 3 different colors. Let me see those 3 fingers. Excellent. Now what were the names of the 3 colors that we heard in that song? So the first color we heard was red. Excellent. Second color we heard was yellow. And the third color we heard was green. Very good. Now the next thing we need to do now, boys and girls, is to talk about what is the meaning of each of these colors. Red has a meaning, yellow has a meaning, and green also has a meaning. And especially when we are using the road, we need to know what each of these light signals means. So when we are on the road and we see the traffic light on red, and here I'm holding up a color paint that I have, which is red. Now in the song, what did the song says about the traffic light when it goes on red? Excellent. When the traffic signal goes on red, it means you should stop. Now let me say something very important now, boys and girls. It doesn't mean that only cars should stop. Everyone should stop when it goes on the red line. So if you're driving a car, you're called a motorist, you should stop. If you're riding a motorcycle, you're called a motorcyclist, you should stop. If you're riding your pedal bicycle, you're called a pedalist, you should also stop. And guess what? If you are walking, there's also a special name for the person who walks on the road. Everybody knows that name? Excellent, the pedestrian. So if you are a pedestrian, it also means that you are to stop. So the red light signal stop for everyone. Sometimes you see the bicycle man still riding past the red light. Sometimes even the motorcyclist and even the persons who drive cars as well. It's dangerous to do that. And we see people walking, the pedestrians walking past the red light, and they could be hit by a moving vehicle. So the red light says stop. Great. The next light we heard in the song was the yellow light. So on the traffic lights, the red light is at the top. So we're going to be learning some positional words now. So the red light is usually at the top. And then below the red light in the middle, we have the yellow light. And what does the yellow light say we are to do? We are to wait. And some people may say it means you are to prepare yourself to stop. Because what happens, boys and girls, when it goes to yellow, within a couple seconds, it goes back to what? It goes to red. So it means wait or prepare yourself to stop. So the yellow light is telling us that very soon the red light will come up. Great. Now after we stop at that red light, boys and girls, and wait for a while, another light will come up. This light usually is at the bottom of the traffic signal. What color is that light? The green light, right? Let me see if I can show something that is green. Excellent. Here's my green. And what does the green light say? The green signal on the traffic light says you are to, you know what that signal means? Go, G-O, go. So the green light says go. So it is very important that we know what each light on the traffic signal says. When it says red, we are to stop. Yellow, wait or get ready to stop. And green means it is safe to go. So if you're a pedestrian, you may go at the green light. If you're a motorist, if you're a pedalist, if you're a motorcyclist, the green light means it is safe for us to go. So that is why Mr. Red Light says, I say stop. Mr. Yellow Light says, I say wait. And Mr. Green Light says, you may go. Excellent. So the traffic signal, boys and girls, is one of the road safety signs that we will use to help us use the road safely. Now, there's also a point that I would like us to say. It's a very, very interesting point that I learned many years ago. Listen to this point, boys and girls. When across the road I go, there are a few things I should know. I should look both left and right to see that there are no cars in sight. I should not hop, jump, skip, or run. The road is not a place for fun. It is a dangerous thoroughfare, so I should always walk with care. Did you hear that poem? So that poem is also helping us to use the road safely. That when we are using the road, if we are crossing the street, we should look left, right, and maybe look left again to make sure that the road is clear. Then we walk across the road quickly, not run. And also, we should not play in the road because the road is not a safe place to play. It's a dangerous place where cars and trucks and buses and all kinds of vehicles are moving up and down. So we should not play on the road. Excellent. Now, what other road signs we have, boys and girls? So here I have my traffic signal. Okay, if you look carefully, you see at the top, I have my red light. And remember what my red light says? Stop. In the middle, listen to our positional words. In the middle, we have our yellow light. And our yellow light says, wait or get ready to stop. And then we have Mr. Green Light. And Mr. Green Light says, go. Safe to move to where you want to go. So we should observe these lights carefully because they are there to help us to use the road safely. Great, right? There's another safety sign that is very important for us to know, boys and girls. We see this on many of our streets. Look at this light, okay? And when you, at another time, you may also learn the name of this shape, but I could also say to you today that this road sign usually has this shape. okay, shape of an octagon, right? And it says STOP. But you know what that word is? Up. Up. Yes, it's stop. So this is called the stop sign. Yay! When you see this sign, whether you are walking as a pedestrian or you're driving, you should stop. Guess what, boys and girls? If mommy or daddy is driving and they meet up on this sign and they do not stop, the policeman or the policewoman could give them a traffic ticket, because everyone should stop at the stop sign. When you stop at the stop sign, you wait for a couple seconds to make sure that the road is clear. Then you go. So that is our stop sign. Then there's another important sign, and every boy and girl should know this sign. When you see this sign, it means there's a pedestrian crossing nearby. What is a pedestrian crossing? Great. Now remember earlier we said people who walk on the road are called pedestrians. So if you're walking, you are called, boys and girls. Give me a sentence with that. I am a pedestrian. Very good. Once you're walking, you're a pedestrian. And even if mommy and daddy drives a car, they may not drive all the time, don't it? Sometimes they will have to park the car and walk some of the distance. So everyone will be a pedestrian at some point. And we have to learn to use the pedestrian crossing. Right, so the pedestrian, this is the sign that tells us that a pedestrian crossing is nearby. So we should look for that crossing. Now, it is very important, boys and girls, that we don't cross the road anywhere. We have to cross at a special place where we will see a pedestrian crossing. So here's my other picture. In this picture, I see a little boy and a lady. And it appears that he's helping her to cross the street. Now, it is important for us to look, what are they using to cross the street safely? They are using the pedestrian crossing. Excellent. And what we realize as well, boys and girls, that before they went across, they wait for the cars to stop. So listen to this now. Not because there's a pedestrian crossing, it doesn't mean you should just go across like that. You should still stop, wait for the cars on both sides to stop. And when we say both sides, we're talking the left side and the right side. And so when all those vehicles stop, then it is safe for us to go across using the pedestrian crossing. So please use up the pedestrian crossing. You may have one in your community. When you're crossing the road, use the pedestrian crossing. Now, when we go to the pedestrian crossing, we may or we may not see someone there to help us. At most of the pedestrian crossing, especially when school is in session, there is a special person who helps us to cross the road safely. This person is called, let me give you a couple seconds to think about that. So when you're going to school and you're crossing that busy street, most times there's a special person dressed in a white coat. Most of the time I see the person in a blue and white coat, and he has that crossing or she has that crossing, that stop sign. Where's my stop sign? And that person holds up a stop sign, and on that sign it also has other words. It says children crossing. Great, so that person is our traffic warden. Who's that person? The traffic warden. Now, we are not seeing a traffic warden in this picture, right? And we may not see a traffic warden at all pedestrian crossings. But some pedestrian crossing, you will see the traffic warden who will help us to cross the road safely. So let us look at the signs we just looked at. Remember, we are talking about identifying road signs and using the road safely. So our first traffic sign was our road sign was our traffic signal. And our traffic signal is made up of 3 special lights. What are the lights? Red light, and the red light says stop. Then we have our yellow light. Our yellow light says wait or get ready to stop. And then our green light at the bottom says it's safe to go. Then we looked at our stop sign. Everyone should stop at the stop sign before they move again. It is very, very important. And our stop sign says stop. S-T-O-P, stop. Let's say that together. S-T-O-P, stop. Great. And our pedestrian crossing. And remember, this sign tells us that a pedestrian crossing is coming up soon or is nearby. And then when we actually get to the pedestrian crossing, this is what it looks like. Now the pedestrian crossing are made up of what, boys and girls? Can we describe what the pedestrian crossing looks like? Great, it's made up of lines, okay? Lines that go across, right? Lines that go across. And we may see some paint in black and white, or sometimes they may use yellow and white to paint the pedestrian crossing, so that when the motorists are coming on the road and they see somebody stop by the pedestrian crossing, they should stop and allow those persons to cross safely. So remember now, boys and girls, when we are using the streets or using the road, these are some things we should look out for, okay? And we should be very careful how we use the road. Do you want us to sing our song we did earlier? Where is red light? Where is yellow light? Where is green light? Let's try that song. Where is red light? Where is red light? Here I am. Here I am. Tell us what you say, sir. Tell us what you say, sir. I say stop. I say stop. Where is yellow light? Where is yellow light? Here I am. Here I am. I said wait. I said wait. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. What's other light we're at now? Let me see who remembers which light is coming up next. Excellent. Green light. Where is green light? Where is green light? Here I am. Here I am. Tell us what you say, sir. Tell us what you say, sir. I say go. I say go. We want to also repeat our poem, boys and girls, that we learned as well. And this poem helps us to use the road safely. Okay? To use the pedestrian crossing safely, use up the stop sign safely. And there are also some other signs that we will see on the road. So even though we didn't look at all those signs today, there are other signs on the road that we should also observe. Okay? Some sign may say there's a hospital nearby, so we should not make a lot of noise. We should be quiet. Or there's a school nearby, so the vehicles who are driving past should not toot their horns, because that is called a quiet zone. Okay? There are also some signs that may say one way. That means the vehicles travel on those roads in one direction. Either they are traveling up or they are traveling down. So let's do our song. When across the road I go, there are a few things I should know. I should look both left and right to see that there are no cars inside. I should not hop, jump, skip, or run. The road is not a place for fun. It is a dangerous thoroughfare, so I should always walk with care. Then, boys and girls, we're going to move now into talking about a letter, a special letter. Now, I'm going to make the sound of this letter, and I want you to tell me what letter is this. Listen to this sound. All right, you may not hear that sound clearly, or you may also see the position or the shape my mouth was folding my lips. So I go like this. What sound do you think I'm getting now? Very good, the letter P. What sound was I making earlier? The P sound. And what does the P sound say? Excellent. Now, which of our safety signs or road signs that begins with the letter P? Remember we showed some signs earlier. Which of those signs begin with the letter P? Yes, I heard somebody says it. Excellent. Pedestrian crossing. And remember, the person who uses a pedestrian crossing is a pedestrian. So P, pedestrian, begins with the sound, the P sound. What else begins with the letter P? Great. People. What about the thing that you used to write when you're writing your sentences or your letters? Pencil. Excellent. What else? Paper. Great. All those begin with the letter P. Now, on our pedestrian crossing, we could count the lines that we see. And those lines will help us with a numeral that we're also be talking about. Now, who knows what this numeral is? Wonderful. The numeral 10. And how do we write the numeral 10? A numeral 1 and the numeral 0 beside it, and that is 10. So we could count the lines on the pedestrian crossing. Maybe we'll end up getting 10 lines. Let's count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we could very well make a pedestrian crossing and make it by using 10 lines. Great. So let's clap 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And guess what? If you are using the pedestrian crossing, all right, not the real one on the road now, if you make one at home playing with, you could also count how many steps you use to go across a pedestrian crossing. And you could also use 10 steps. It could be 10 big steps. It could be 10 small steps. So while you are stepping across or walking on the pedestrian crossing, you could count in those steps. You could say 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps, 6 steps, 7 steps, 8 steps, 9 steps, 10 steps. And you could say, wow, I use 10 steps to get across the pedestrian crossing. Great. And there are other fun things you could use your 10 to do as well, right? And we also could use up our other words that begin the letter P. So you could have 10 pencils. Suppose Mama went to the store and she said, whoa, I need to get some pencils for little Johnny. And she may come back and you may count those pencils. You could count 10. If it's more than 10, you could take out those 10 and says, I have 10 pencils. Very good. What else we could have with 10 things that we could count that begin with the letter P? Very good. We could count 10 pens, okay? We could count, what else can we count that begins with 10? 10 sheets of paper. So say we have some paper here. We could have a stack of paper that has 10 in the stack. All right, so we could have fun with our letter P and with our numeral 10, and we could use our activities to make 10 lines and count them and say, my pedestrian crossing has 10 lines. And we know that our pedestrian crossing begins with the letter P, and we could count the lines that make up our pedestrian crossing. Now we could have fun, we could color those lines, all right? So what sound do we get from that letter P? Right. No, I don't want anybody to say poo. Right? No, it's a quiet sound. So you fold your lips and gently push against those lips to get the sound. So now remember in our lesson as well, boys and girls, we said that if mommy and daddy do not stop at the pedestrian crossing or at the stop sign, there's a person who may very well write them a ticket. And that person's name begins with what letter? The letter P. Yes, the policeman or the policewoman, or we could say the police officer. So police also begins with the letter P. What letter police begins with? The letter P. So we're going to sing a little song for a letter P and make the song. Are we ready? Let's go. The P says The P says, every letter makes a sound. The P says, one more time. The P says, every letter makes a sound. The P says, and we could do other fun songs with the letter P. Sound. We have P for pencil, P for pen, P for police, and P for parts. Come on, everybody, let's make the P sound. Right, so that's another sound we could use for our letter P. All right, and what other sound could you use? The letter P say, the letter